Well, today we've got Jim McGaw, and Jim is here with his beautiful 1968 Chevrolet Impala. Jim, you want to tell us a few things about the Impala?
I bought the car new in 1968, so I'm the original owner of it.
Wow.
But I've owned it 3 times. When we bought it, it was a week before me and my wife got married, and we drove it till about 1975. And in 75 we sold it to my brother-in-law, who used it for a second car for a year or so. About that time I needed another car, so I bought it back. And then I drove it till about 1981, latter part of 82, and my brother needed a car for his son to go back and forth to college. So I sold it to him. And he drove it for a few years, and then he sold it to another fellow in Moorhead, whose son drove it to college till 1986. It was about that time I was getting interested in restoring a car, so I found out the guy's name, called him, and told him if he ever wanted to get rid of it, I was the original owner and would like to buy the car back. He said, well, that's really a coincidence, because I just put an ad in the paper to sell it. My son graduated from college, and I bought him a new Firebird. So I bought it back that evening and started the process to restore it, and I finished restoring it in 1988. So the car as it sits right now was restored about 22 years ago.
And you did the restoration yourself?
I did most of the work on it. I do not do body work or paint, so I didn't do any of that. And I did most of the mechanical work, and they're taken apart and put together.
Okay. You want to show us a few things about the car that are special about the Impala?
Well, this was the second year for disc brakes, and this car came with factory disc brakes on it. In order to get the disc brakes, you had to buy the rally wheels, which this has. The car has 19 factory options in it, including air conditioning, AM/FM radio, power seats, cruise control, rear window defroster, headrests, fender skirts, to name a few.
Well, that's kind of unusual to have all those things on a 68. Was this on the lot when you bought it then initially?
It was actually a car that was left over from the 1968. I bought it in December of 68 before as of 1969s were already out.
Okay. So this has the original 327 engine then?
It is the original 327 engine and the power glide transmission that I rebuilt when I redone it. I have about 10,000 miles on the Restore.
How many miles on the car, on the total car?
I think it had 128,000 on it when I restored it. It needed a lot of work. It had been abused for many years, and when I restored it, I found as many factory options as I could find and added them to the car.
Interesting. Well, Jim McGraw, this has been an interesting story about your car. We're going to get a few more pictures of the car with under the hood and in the trunk and a few other things on the car. Will that be work out for you?
That'll do it.
Okay.